What do you mean you're all licking each other's faces?
I don't know, he started it, so we just started licking each other's faces around the table.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 craziest Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee moments.
Pam, I'll always remember the very first time that we met. It was at a club in Los Angeles.
Few of her friends and family thought this was a marriage made in heaven.
Grabbing a woman and shaking a woman is not cool either, but that's what was done.
For this list, we'll be looking at the wildest moments in the lives of this iconic duo. Team Baywatch or Mötley Crüe? Sound off in the comments below. Number 10, love at first lick.
And my girlfriend's looking at me, no, do not give your number. And so I instantly went, of course I'm giving my number.
You'd think that established musician Tommy Lee would have wooed his lover with a ballad or verse of flowery language, but that's not exactly how it went down. According to Lee, Anderson made the first move, sending him over some Goldschlager at her restaurant Sanctuary on New Year's Eve of 1994.
I had a place called Sanctuary, and I gave everybody a shot of Goldschlager. It was for New Year's.
But after that, in Anderson's words, Lee, quote, came up, grabbed me, and licked my face.
And he thought I only gave it to him, so he came bounding over, wallet chains flying, and sat down next to me and licked my face, and then I licked my friend's face, and we all licked each other's faces around.
Slow down.
At the time, Lee was engaged to model Bobby Brown. Lee has confirmed this account, adding that the lick went from chin to temple. Anderson went on to tell a Movie Line magazine during her 1995 interview that she thought he was cool and friendly, and gave him her number. She's also credited Playboy with landing her on Lee's radar.
How did Tommy Lee feel about you posing for Playboy? Did you like it?
Well, that's how he found me.
Really?
Well, I mean...
Number 9, a false start.
Mötley Crüe was a heavy metal band that busted charts the way they reportedly busted up hotel rooms.
After trading numbers and arranging a first date, Tommy Lee decided that he would rock Anderson's world by rocking up in dirty, stinky clothes, geared up with $400 worth of adult toys and outfits.
His passion beguiled her, and she began to become fascinated by this persistent suitor.
However, the joke was on him, as Anderson wasn't at her hotel, having forgotten about the date altogether. The whole story is recounted by Tommy Lee in Mötley Crüe's autobiography The Dirt, and seems a little too silly not to be true. He goes on to write that his date had to fly out to Cancun, Mexico, putting their date on hold. As it turned out, the delay would not be for long, because Lee jumped on a plane to Cancun.
The courtship culminated on 1994's New Year's Eve, when Lee followed her down to Cancun, Mexico for a 4-day beach party.
Number 8, Whirlwind Wedding.
At first, Pamela was put off by the obsessed Romeo, especially after he began calling her 40 times a day.
Despite being initially furious that Lee followed her to Mexico, Pamela Anderson married him within less than a week. Before he arrived in Cancun, Lee had ended their phone call with "see you later," which Anderson thought was a little strange. Turns out he had really meant it. After Anderson stopped being angry, Lee's charm offensive paid off. They went out for drinks that evening, spent the night together, and married on a Mexican beach 4 days later.
On the beach, far from the Vancouver shore, Pamela and Tommy Lee were married in a simple ceremony.
Anderson's mother would not find out about this until seeing tabloid photographs of her daughter in a bikini wedding dress.
Pamela's family and friends were shocked when they learned of the marriage, not at the impromptu wedding, but at whom she had given her heart.
All in all, their prenuptial courtship lasted approximately 90 hours. Number 7, tattoos.
One effect of Tommy Lee's influence on Pamela was to decorate herself with tattoos.
In the 4 days that the Mötley Crüe drummer and the Baywatch star had to arrange their spontaneous ceremony, there was little time to purchase wedding bands, or flowers, or attire. Again, Pamela Anderson's wedding dress was a bikini and Tommy Lee wore shorts. To overcome this break in tradition, they once again broke with tradition, with Pamela, now Anderson Lee, commemorating the event by having Tommy tattooed around her ring finger. Lee would do the same, getting tattooed on his finger, and, well, let's just say elsewhere. Post-divorce, Anderson would change her wedding tattoo to say Mommy, and we have no idea / don't want to know what Tommy did with his.
Pam and I shared one of history's greatest romances. It's like that book. Who am I kidding? I've never read a book. I can barely read my tattoos.
Number 6. Rumors of controlling behavior.
One concern was that the musician's rap sheet was as extensive as his numerous tattoos.
Despite the apparent euphoria that surrounded this whirlwind marriage of two icons, rumors of controlling behavior began to circulate within the industry.
Tommy Lee's temperament did not improve with married life.
These were particularly virulent during filming of Barbed Wire in 1995, in which Anderson played the titular role.
Don't call me babe.
According to one source, who happened to also be one of Anderson's ex-lovers, Lee wouldn't let anyone near Pamela.
More ominously, Lee had been arrested in 1994 for what was called assaultive conduct with a cohabitant.
Anderson has a slightly different recollection, remembering that it was her choice to spend so much time in her trailer with Lee, enjoying, well, let's just call it couple time. Number 5. Hepatitis C diagnosis.
Thursday last week, I took the test, and Friday they told me I was cured. And 20 years ago, when they told me I had Hep C, they told me I'd only live 10 years.
In March 2002, Anderson revealed she'd contracted hepatitis C. Her suggestion that it was due to their sharing of tattoo needles raised a few eyebrows. Nevertheless, the outlook for Anderson was not good at the time, particularly with her statement to Howard Stern that she had 5 to 10 years left to live.
I feel good.
Yeah, everything's cool, or what?
Pretty good.
I don't want to lose you ever.
Yeah.
I got a good 5-10 years.
It later turned out that this was a sarcastic response to his question on the illness and misconstrued as being terminal. In fact, Anderson would go on to be cured of Hep C in 2015, 1 year after Tommy Lee's own recovery.
So mine was a little more hard to cure, but it still worked.
Number 4. Humiliating an electrician.
Hello? Excuse me, how'd you guys get here? Security! 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 Get him! Stick him!
Living the high life can sometimes go to a constantly inebriated rock star's head. And those who were working on the Anderson Lee Malibu home renovation found out the hard way in 1995.
I've always wanted to do this, and so I finally got it done. I'm so excited.
Tommy Lee's constant demands to change the slightest details led to a falling out between the couple and the workers, whom Lee fired. Former adult entertainment star turned electrician Rand Gauthier was owed $20,000, but when he returned to the mansion, it was just to ask for his own tools back. In response, Lee pointed a gun at Gauthier and demanded he get off the property. That was all the persuasion that the electrician needed, but the humiliation would have larger consequences later on.
I obviously made a mistake, and I'm changing some of the things in my life.
Number 3. Father versus son.
So I've always raised them to be themselves and to trust their instincts.
Pamela and Tommy divorced after Tommy kicked her and ended up behind bars for spousal abuse in 1998. This event obviously had an effect on their sons also. In 2018, their eldest, Brandon, reportedly confronted Lee about disparaging public comments that Lee had made about his mother. This led to an altercation in which Brandon punched his father, knocking out the baddest man in rock and roll.
Brandon eventually punched Tommy Lee in the face, knocking him out cold.
He then posted a video of his unconscious father online. In a statement on her website, Pamela weighed in on the feud, describing Tommy as an alcoholic and, quote, disaster spinning out of control.
Both Brandon and Pamela cited alcoholism as the source of the drama, a claim Tommy denied.
Number 2. The theft of one of their private recordings.
So in the late June, I went up to Northern California, sort of on a lark, and tracked down Rand Gauthier.
Remember Rand Gauthier, the electrician who was marched from the Lee Anderson household at gunpoint? Humiliated, Gauthier decided to exact revenge in one of the most infamous heists of the 20th century.
So he ends up doing electrical work for Tommy Lee with Pamela Anderson when they're really the hottest celebrity couple in the world.
Yes.
Things break bad.
Yes.
And he decides to
get revenge.
Disguising himself as the couple's dog by draping himself in Tibetan yak fur, yeah, you cannot make this stuff up, he snuck into the garage and stole their safe. When he opened it up, he expected to just find Tommy's gun collection and Pamela's jewelry. But there was something very unexpected inside too, a cassette with the couple getting intimate on Lake Mead. For months afterwards, though, Lee and Anderson had no idea that the tape had fallen into the wrong hands.
Just him and I being in love and doing crazy things and filming it
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The tape goes viral.
The tape is like the reason why several million people signed onto the internet.
Gaultier took the tape to adult entertainment companies, but no one would publish it without written consent from Lee and Anderson, so he tried to sell it online. Others made copies and sold it from the trunks of their cars. By the time the couple learned about the tape from the press, it was too late.
I've seen the tape.
That's forever.
Lee's manhunt for the persons responsible, which involved motorcycle gangs, only added to the hype.
That no one really stood up for them, even though this was like a physical piece of property that was in a safe in their garage that was stolen.
Eventually, the tape worked its way to an internet site called Club Love, and Lee and Anderson just signed over copyright. The tape ended up making $77 million in legitimate sales within a year, and Gaultier didn't see a dime of it.
We really just wanted to make sure our family was okay. The damage was done, it's out.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.